There's an anecdote that that is commonly used in collaborative environment, and that is, if you had two kids fighting over an orange, the court approach to how you would solve that problem is cut the orange in half and give them each half. But if you asked what was important to them, you might find one really enjoys orange juice and the other one really likes to bake, so all of the rind is important to them, whereas the other one was going to throw that out. And until you know that about the people that you're dealing with, you don't know what all of your win-win options might be. In many relationships, by the time someone has spoken to their partner about divorce and that they want out, they've already departed, they've already checked out. But for the other party, this is a complete and utter surprise to them, and they thought that their life was going to be as they imagined it. So there's an element of pacing, which some of the different options that you have to divorce don't give you the opportunity to manage, whereas collaborative, particularly with the input of family and relationship specialists, collaborative gives you the opportunity to pace the process so that everybody gets the chance to catch up. And if we work on the basis that divorce truly is an emotional journey with financial and legal implications, the advantage of collaborative in comparison to the kitchen table or in comparison to the court solution is that you have all three of those elements represented. At the kitchen table, you need to manage all of that yourself. In the court, you're actually handing over control of that to the judge. When we talk about collaborative, we're really talking about you represented by your lawyer, your partner represented by their lawyer, and a neutral financial specialist and a neutral family and relationship specialist in the room. All of whom have a role to play in order to help guide you through the problem-solving process, which is, how is your divorce going to look? How do we get you to the best outcome possible as a consequence of that? The examples I use is my first role in a collaborative team is to develop an asset register, and I work with both parties to be able to gather that information and build up a single source of truth. And it's not the case that everybody agrees on the values or anything the first time around, but the alternative would be for each of the clients to be briefing their lawyer, and for each lawyer at their hourly rate to be building up an asset register, and then to come to the table and to argue about whether that's accurate or not. And there are some significant efficiencies to be gained from talking to one professional who charges a single hourly rate to be able to develop that source of truth, which is the asset register at agreed asset values. Anecdotally, we have had cases where between our office and the coffee shop next door and a couple of my meeting rooms, we've been able to reach agreements in one afternoon that the lawyers that I work with, some of whom have been in family law for 30 years, those lawyers would suggest that that process might have taken 6 weeks and thousands of dollars worth of letter writing between lawyers to achieve in a more traditional lawyer negotiated outcome, where we've managed to knock it over in the afternoon. We all come together and we break, and you have a talk with your lawyer, and then we have a talk with again, and we've been able to find binding and durable agreements in one afternoon that might have taken months in the past. My belief is that the two neutral roles particularly, and the financial neutral is one role that I take, and the family and relationship specialist is another neutral role that is taken, they're critical in helping to get past impasses. As a neutral, there are things that you can say and suggest and reality checks that you can put out there which are not taken as an adversarial act by either side. If you can imagine, if somebody truly believes that the child support should be X many dollars on one side, and the lawyer on the other side says, well, do you think that's really enough? That's a very different dynamic than if a neutral party says, well, can you help me understand how that's enough? Because what we know is that this much is what's already being spent. And the feedback that we've received from people that we've been through this process with, commonly the two words that ring out are supportive and respectful, because there are rules of the game when you sit at the collaborative table, and if everyone obeys those rules and they work through the process, we will find a solution which is most suitable for everybody. There's, it's a divorce. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be wonderful, but it's respectful and it's supportive and it's durable. And particularly when there's kids involved, I think that's the most important part of it. So my view is that collaborative, and my exposure to it now is over the last 3 years has been quite expansive. My view is that collaborative is by far and away the best way to approach that sort of a breakup. And I think if more people knew how it works and how that process helps, it would be the more commonly chosen way from most people who can't get that kitchen table agreement happening. It sounds like a lot of professionals, but it does work more quickly, more efficiently, and certainly it's more respectful and supportive.